Thank you so much, Chair. Dear members of the European Parliament, as you heard, on this day, 2 years ago, we woke up to the terrible news of an attack that caused at least 1,195 victims and led to 251 hostages that have been held captive by Hamas. I want to welcome the members of the families of hostages who are present today in the Parliament, maybe not in this chamber. In these 2 years, pain and suffering have been the reality of Israelis and Palestinians. Heartbreaking images are spreading all over the world. In these 2 years, violence and war have continued, causing more than 65,000 reported Palestinian victims and instability in the broader Middle East region. In these 2 years, the humanitarian situation in Gaza has become unbearable. President von der Leyen recalled during her State of the Union address 1 month ago that what is happening in Gaza has shaken the conscience of the world. The European Union has continuously called for a ceasefire, for the release of all remaining hostages and the resumption of the humanitarian aid to the Gaza Strip, working tirelessly with regional and international partners. Honourable members, I would like to once again reiterate that the European Union has been and it is the largest humanitarian donor in Gaza. 2 weeks ago, the Commission announced an additional €50 million in emergency humanitarian aid to deliver life-saving assistance both in Gaza and the West Bank. This will bring the total humanitarian allocation to Palestine to almost €220 million this year. Returning from an exceptionally important UN General Assembly week, it is clear for me that we need to be unequivocal in our support of the multilateral system. In this context, we believe that only with the United Nations and its agencies in a central role, the badly needed humanitarian surge can work. In this regard, the Commission takes good note of your plenary resolution of the 11th September, where you called for the mandate and funding of UNRWA to be reinstated in full with strong oversight and accountability. Guaranteeing immediate support in the short term is essential, but we need to keep the longer-term political perspective in mind. Europe's goal has always been the same: real security for Israel and a safe present and future for all Palestinians. We are now at the key moment of decision of whether this terrible war will finally come to an end. The European Union has welcomed the 20-point plan on Gaza presented by the United States. We remain a steadfast proponent of peace in the Middle East. The plan presents a credible framework in this direction. The European Union stands behind the plan's critical elements. First, no role for Hamas, no displacement, no annexation including of the West Bank, no threats emanating from Gaza to its neighbours, and no military operations. A number of elements are now being negotiated in detail, but the European Union will play its part in the implementation of the plan. We are encouraged by Israel's positive reaction to the peace plan and call on its leadership to work towards its implementation in good faith. We also note Hamas' stated readiness to release all hostages and end the conflict, while urging it to engage credibly and constructively in the process, including through disarmament and the renunciation of any claim to post-war governance. We also welcome the joint statement by Arab and Muslim foreign ministers. Regional leadership will be a critical enabler in every step of the implementation of this plan. It is important, however, to emphasise that transitional arrangements should pave the way for lasting and sustainable peace. A credible pathway towards Palestinian statehood and the two-state solution will be key, based on the principles endorsed by a large majority of UN member states. The European Union supports a clear role for the Palestinians in the future of Gaza. To this end, the European Union will continue to support the Palestinian Authority to implement the needed reforms as they have been proposed by the Palestinians themselves. The Palestine Donor Group, announced by President von der Leyen in this House, will serve as a forum to check progress on this endeavour. Let me recall that the European Union is the biggest provider of external assistance to the Palestinians. We presented a programme worth €1.6 billion for 25-27 with the aim to support the Palestinian Authority and the Palestinian population. The emergency funding package announced in the margins of UN General Assembly is an important step for stabilising the fiscal situation of the Palestinian Authority, and it can be dispersed through the European Union's robust funding system, so-called Gaza. In New York, we signed a €400 million loan from the EIB, European Investment Bank, to the Palestinian Monetary Authority. This loan will support small and medium enterprises in the West Bank that are the backbone of the economy. The European Union is also ready to support Palestinian-led recovery and reconstruction of Gaza through a dedicated instrument as announced by President von der Leyen. This needs to be coordinated and discussed with all stakeholders in the context of the economic development plans proposed by the United States President. The Palestine Donor Group, which will hold its first meeting soon, by the end of the year, including regional partners, will be crucial in bringing together European initiatives and coordination efforts. Beyond supporting governance agreements, the European Union can make concrete contributions to the implementation of the plan via various instruments at its disposal. Achieving demilitarisation and effective transitional governance and establishing an international stabilisation force are vital. This all will require careful coordination and stakeholders' engagement. We have experience in this respect and we can bring it to the table. First, the European Union could support the proposed interfaith dialogue and the platform via existing peace-building programmes, and the European Union is also well positioned to continue supporting regional integration in the Middle East. To end, dear colleagues, dear members, the tragedy in Gaza must end. Now is the time to begin the process of building a better future for Israelis, for Palestinians, and for the entire region. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Commissioner. On behalf of the EPP Group, our colleague, Madam Bentelli.